What is up, Speezinators? I'm your host, Nathan Spees, and I know it's been a very long time since I've done a collection video, but that drought ends today. As you can see, I have a bunch of Funko Pops on the table, because I'm going to be doing a Funko Pop Collection video. I've been collecting Funko Pops for almost 10 years now, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. So, some of these I've already shown off in some other collection videos, but most of them are brand new, and I've never talked about them before on this channel. So how this is going to work is I'm going to go ahead and talk about each pop figure by section. So for example, we're going to do all the Five Nights at Freddy's ones together, all the Sonic ones together, all the Jurassic Park ones together. You get the idea. So without wasting any time, there's quite a lot of figures to talk about. Let's get on with my 2025 Funko Pop collection, starting with Disney. Alright, so I decided to put some of these plastic shelves back here just to display the pop figures to make them look a little nicer. But we're going to start with the Disney pop figures, and the first one I want to show off is this one right here, which is the, hang on, let me show you, Jungle Cruise Mickey. It's Mickey Mouse riding on a Jungle Cruise boat. I really like this pop figure. It's really cool, really expensive too, but I'm glad I have this one, because, I mean, just look at it. It looks really cool. Up next, since I have some of the Disney pop figures, I might as well have a pop figure of the man himself, Walt Disney. This is a black and white Walt Disney, and he has a little Steamboat Willie drawing. That's what this pop figure is called, Walt Disney with drawing. Next up are assorted Mickey Mouse pop figures. The very first Mickey Mouse pop figure that I ever got was this one right here, which is the Kingdom Hearts Mickey. It's a pretty old pop figure, but I got it for Christmas a couple years ago, or actually a while ago. Another Mickey that I have is this Mickey, which is Rainbow Pride Mickey, Pride Month Mickey, Gay Mickey, whatever you want to call him. I also have Sorcerer Mickey, also known as Fantasia Mickey. One other Mickey that I have is this Hot Topic exclusive Diamond Collection Santa Mickey, which is a Mickey Mouse pop figure that's kind of glittery. I don't know if you can really see that on the camera, but he's very glittery and he's dressed as Santa Claus. But that's not the only Disney pop figure that I have that's related to Christmas. I actually have quite a few of them, including Gingerbread Mickey, as well as Gingerbread Minnie. Along with that, I also have Santa Goofy, as well as Reindeer Pluto. In terms of other Disney characters that I have the Hot Topic exclusive Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Jar with Bees pop figure. This one's pretty cool. And I also have Dumbo. This, I believe, is the oldest pop figure in my collection, but not the first one that I got. These next two are not pop figures, but they're still Funko related. They're Funko Soda figures. I have a Funko Soda figure of Winnie the Pooh, as well as a soda figure of Sully. They also came with these little coin things, or tokens. I can't find Sully's though. Interestingly, I do have another one, which is a Mickey Mouse one, but I cannot for the life of me find it. But I do have the little token it came with. Next, I have the full set of the 2019 Lion King remake pop figures. Not pop figures based off the original Lion King, but the 2019 remake. These include Simba, a very ugly looking Scar, Pumbaa, Timon, and Rafiki. I do, however, have one pop figure based off the original Lion King, and it's this one, Scar with the zebra leg. I believe this was a Funko Shop exclusive, but I could be wrong, but I got this at a convention. And the last set of Disney pop figures that I have are pop figures based off the movie Zootopia. I have the full set of them, which includes Nick Wilde, Judy Hopps, Finnick, Mr. Big, and last but not least, Flash the Sloth. This one I actually got a little later than the other ones because this took forever to find. So that is all my Disney pop figures. Now I'm going to move on to the Bendy and the Ink Machine collection. Alright, so for Bendy and the Ink Machine, I have Bendy, of course. I have Boris the Wolf. And I have Alice Angel, who for some reason is kind of warped to the back, so she's kind of leaning a little bit. I don't really know, it might just be mine, but it's a little odd. Now for some variants, I have the GameStop exclusive Bendy with Wrench. I have Boris the Wolf, but dead Boris the Wolf, which is in Chapter 1, I believe. And I believe this is a GameStop exclusive, but I also have the, deformed Alice Angel from Chapter 3. Next up, we have some more original characters like Ink Demon Bendy, Sammy Lawrence, the Projectionist, probably one of the coolest pop figures I have, as well as this ink blob seeker thing. I'm not entirely sure what it's called. Come on, focus. There we go. But it's still a pretty cool figure. Last but not least, we have the Butcher Gang, which includes Piper, Stryker, and I believe this guy's name is Fisher? So that's all my Bendy and the Ink Machine pop figures. Now I'm going to move on to the cartoon character pop figures. Just general cartoon characters. Alright, so now we're going to do general cartoon characters. Characters from Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers, etc. And the first one I have is SpongeBob's House. Probably the best pop figure of all. But of course you can't have SpongeBob's house without SpongeBob himself. He has Gary on his head. This came with the Pineapple House. This is the only SpongeBob pop figure I have in my collection. In terms of other Nickelodeon characters, I have Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life. And he also came with his dog Spunky. Also from Rocco's Modern Life, I have Heifer Wolf, the steer. And before you ask, yes, this next character is a Nickelodeon character now. Google it. I'm talking about Garfield. This is Garfield right here. And of course, wherever Garfield goes, you have Odie. I also have a different kind of Garfield pop figure. It's this one where he's eating lasagna. In terms of Warner Brothers, the only Looney Tunes character that I have is Sylvester the Cat. And he also came with Tweety Bird. I also happen to own Tom and Jerry. These are from the Tom and Jerry 2021 movie. You can tell they're from the 2021 movie because Tom is wearing the hotel hat that he wears in the movie and the little badge that he also wears in the movie. And last but not least, from classic cartoon characters, we have Scooby-Dooby-Doo! This is the only Scooby-Doo pop figure I have. It's the original Scooby-Doo. And the last one of the cartoon characters is the very first Funko Pop I ever got in my entire life. That being Steven Universe from Steven Universe. My sister collected all the Steven Universe pop figures and she accidentally got another Steven. So she gave this one to me. This is the Hot Topic exclusive with the glow-in-the-dark belly. So yeah, this is the guy that started the whole collection. So those are all the Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network Warner Brothers type characters. Now we're going to move on to Dr. Seuss. Now I don't have that many Dr. Seuss pop figures, but I do have enough to give it its own section in this video. So first up we have the man himself, Dr. Seuss. And he also has the little cat in the hat with him. And speaking of the Cat in the Hat, I have the Box Lunch exclusive Cat in the Hat. This is different because he has the cake on top of his head, and he has the umbrella. I also have my very first Dr. Seuss Funko Pop, which is Sam I Am from Green Eggs and Ham. And of course, it wouldn't be a Dr. Seuss video without the Grinch. This is actually not part of the Dr. Seuss line, this was his own line. But yeah, I have the Grinch, and I also have his dog, Max. So those are all my Dr. Seuss Funko Pops. Now I'm going to move on to my second biggest collection, Jurassic Park. Alright, so I should go ahead and clarify that I already did show my Jurassic Park Funko Pops in a different collection video from a few years ago. But just in case you haven't seen that video, I'm going to show them again in this video. And I might have one or two new ones. Anyways, what I'm first going to show off are these 4 diorama pop sets. I don't know what they're called, but they were all exclusive to Target, and they all depict scenes from Jurassic Park. So the first one I have is Robert Muldoon with the Velociraptor. I also have the Raptors in the Kitchen set. This one's pretty cool, very detailed. I have Ellie with the sick Triceratops, another really well detailed one. I mean, they're all detailed, but these are really detailed. And I also have the Jurassic Park gate. Alright, now I'm going to get to the proper pop figures. Starting with the first Jurassic Park, we have John Hammond. I also have a second John Hammond. This one came with the gate right there. Along with that, I also have Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, and Dennis Nedry with the little Barbasol can that he has in the movie. As for dinosaurs, I have the original Velociraptor, really ugly looking. I have the really cool looking Dilophosaurus with the big frills. And of course, the T-Rex, the very first T-Rex that they made. Although this one, I don't know if you can really see it. She's kind of leaning to the side a little bit, so it's hard to balance her. Now we move on to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I have Owen Grady, aka Chris Pratt. And of course, you can't have Owen without Blue, the Velociraptor. This is the first version of Blue that Funko would make. And finally, the big bad of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the Indoraptor. One of the coolest looking pop figures I have. Now we move on to Jurassic World Dominion, where we have Maisie Lockwood. I have I believe this is New York Comic Con exclusive, Kayla Waltz figure. I also have Ellie Sattler, and a different version of Ian Malcolm. As for dinosaurs, I have the Atrociraptor Red. I think this is a Funko exclusive, like a Funko website exclusive. I also have Atrociraptor Ghost. I also have Mr. Edward Scissorhands himself, the Therizinosaurus. Kind of ugly looking, but still looks really cool. And finally, I have a modern version of the T-Rex. This is a slightly different sculpt with the newer base that they use on the dinosaurs. And last but certainly not least, I have the Giganotosaurus, another really cool looking pop figure. So that is all of my Jurassic Park / World Funko Pops. Now I'm going to move on to the Sonic pop figures. So just like my Jurassic Park pop figures, I previously showed my Sonic pop figure collection in a different collection video. However, unlike the Jurassic Park pops, I've actually gotten a bunch more Sonic pop figures since that original video. So I'm first going to start out with Sonic with Ring. This is the special edition one that, as you can see, it's kind of metallic-y, and it also came with a t-shirt, as well as a box that looked like an arcade machine. And yes, I do still have the t-shirt. In terms of other pop figures of Sonic himself, I have Sonic with a green Chaos Emerald. I have Classic Sonic. This one's really cool because he's kind of in that figure 8 shape. And you can tell it's Classic Sonic because he's a lighter shade of blue than the regular Sonic. I also have Soap Shoe Sonic. You can tell because he has the soap shoes on from Sonic Adventure 2. That Soap Sonic figure also came with a Hero Chow. And finally, I have Sonic the Werehog, which I believe was a Hot Topic exclusive. Oh, and one more Sonic pop that I forgot. I have this little keychain Sonic. It's a keychain of a little tiny Sonic pop figure. In terms of other Sonic characters, I also have Shadow the Hedgehog, and I have the updated version of Shadow the Hedgehog. And that version of Shadow came with this little Dark Chow. I guess while we're on the topic of villains, I might as well show off Metal Sonic. This one's really cool because he's kind of floating in the air. And of course, the big bad of the Sonic series, Dr. Eggman. These next two are not pop figures, but they're more Funko Soda figures. I have Sonic right here, and I also have Tails. And here's their little tokens that you get with them. Next, I have two different Sonic pop figures, but these are both exclusive to Target. They were part of the TargetCon thing that they did. We have a flocked Tails. This guy's actually flocked. He's very fuzzy. And I also have flocked Knuckles. The last few Sonic characters that I have include Amy Rose, Cream the Rabbit, and she also comes with Cheese the Chow, right there. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. And last but not least, Silver the Hedgehog. So those are all my Sonic the Hedgehog pop figures. Now I'm going to move on to doing some sports mascots. Alright, so I know I just said sports mascots, but I want to show off these two pop figures that are not mascot related, but they are sports related. They're both from the Cincinnati Bengals. First we have AJ Green, back when he was on the Bengals, and I also have Joe Burrow, and he's wearing the white Bengals uniform. This is the white jersey variant. Now if you remember my NBA mascot tier list video I did just recently, I mentioned how I'm going to start collecting all the sports mascot Funko Pops, and in that video I showed off the two I have for the NBA. Well, here they are in case you haven't seen that video. The only two NBA mascot Pops I have are Champ from the Dallas Mavericks, and the Emerald City Comic Con exclusive Squash from the Seattle Supersonics. Next I have two mascots from the NHL, those being Gritty from the Philadelphia Flyers, I really like this Funko Pop, and the Canada exclusive Youppi from the Montreal Expos. Or I guess I should say Montreal Canadiens because this is hockey, not baseball. Speaking of baseball, I'm now moving on to doing baseball mascots. The first one I have right here is the Philly Fanatic. This is the first version of the Fanatic Funko Pop, a little bit of a tongue twister, because he's wearing the classic Phillies outfit, the outfit that he usually wears. I also have the Mariner Moose from the Seattle Mariners. I have Billy the Marlin from the Miami Marlins. Quite a interesting pop. And last for MLB, I have Mr. Redlegs from the Cincinnati Reds. The rest of the sports mascot pops I have are all college related. So the first one up here we have one of my more desired Funko Pops based off a college mascot, Big Al from the University of Alabama, Crimson Tide. Along with him I have Brutus the Buckeye from the Ohio State University Buckeyes. I have Harry the Husky from the University of Washington Huskies. I have Butch T. Cougar from Washington State University. I have Harry Dog from the University of Georgia Bulldogs. And I also have the Leprechaun from the University of Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. The last two I have is the Nittany Lion from the University of Penn State, or I guess Penn State University, excuse me. And finally, this is one that I really wanted. I spent many months trying to find him, but I finally got him, the Oregon Duck. Or I guess Donald Duck, depending on who you ask. So there's all my sports mascot Funko Pops. Now I'm going to show you all of my advertising mascot Funko Pops. So here's all my advertising mascot Funko Pops. Up first we have Ronald McDonald. This is the only McDonald's Funko Pop that I currently have. And another restaurant mascot I have is Colonel Sanders from KFC. As for more advertising mascots, I have the Coca-Cola Polar Bear. And I don't know if you count this, but I'm counting it because it is Coca-Cola branded. We have Santa Claus. I actually got this guy at the World of Coca-Cola in Atlanta. As for more mascots, I have Mr. Peanut from Planters. I have Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires. One of my favorites is the Energizer Bunny. I just love this pop figure. It's so detailed and looks exactly like the character. I have Tony the Tiger. This is the newer version of Tony the Tiger where he's got the little cereal bowl with him. And I have another cool cat character, Chester Cheetah from Cheetos. The final two are some of my favorite Funko Pops I have in my entire collection. This first one being very special, Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. Funny story, the last time I ever went to a Toys R Us was to get this Funko Pop. However, they didn't have it in stock. And I got this pop figure around the same time I got my Jeffrey the Giraffe costume. So I really love this Funko Pop. It's quite rare, but it's a little more common than some other rare Funko Pops. And of course, the last Funko Pop for this section is a character that you probably expected, Chuck E. Cheese. Or as Funko likes to call him, Retro Chuck E. Cheese. So those are all my advertising mascot pop figures. Now I'm going to do some of the miscellaneous pop figures before we get to all the Five Nights at Freddy's ones. Alright, so these last few Funko Pops are miscellaneous pop figures, aka pop figures I didn't know what collections to put them in, or groups, or whatever, so I'm just throwing them here. The first set I have are a bunch of MonsterVerse pop figures from the film Godzilla vs. Kong. I have Heat Ray Godzilla. This one is really cool because he's got the atomic breath. Really cool looking. Very detailed too. I also have the Hot Topic exclusive Kong with the battle axe. This one's also really cool. And finally I have Mechagodzilla, another really detailed pop figure. In terms of other characters, I have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This one's pretty recent, I just got this last Christmas. Along with Rudolph, I also got the Elf on the Shelf. The next character I have is Clifford the Big Red Dog. This is the Hot Topic exclusive, and he's actually flocked. He's very fuzzy. Next is the only Shrek pop figure I have, Puss in Boots. He's doing the one scene with the big eyes. And the last two pop figures I have include Jim Henson with Kermit, and probably one of my favorite pop figures, Elmo with Rocco, San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from last year. So that's the rest of my non-Five Nights at Freddy's themed Funko Pops, but now we're going to move on to all of my Five Nights at Freddy's pop figures. Alright, so here's how I'm going to do all of my Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Pops. Because FNAF is my largest collection of Funko Pops, I'm going to split this section into two parts. The first part will be the regular Funko Pops that you can find pretty much anywhere, and they're a little easier to find. The second section will be the exclusives, or characters that can be found only at one specific store or place, and the ones that are a little harder to find. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to show off my regular Pops first. So the first one we have is Freddy Fazbear himself, a very light purple, but for some reason he also has freckles, Bonnie, Chica, and of course, Foxy, who kind of has a little bit of balancing issues, but shouldn't be too bad on the stands. Along with the regular Five Nights at Freddy's Funko Pops, I also have the Christmas variants of the FNAF 1 characters. These include Santa Freddy, Elf Bonnie, this one's kind of cool looking, Snowman Chica, and Gingerbread Foxy. Moving on from FNAF 1, I have some Five Nights at Freddy's 4 Funko Pops. These include Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica, and Nightmare Foxy. Next up, I have the sister location Funko Pops, which includes Circus Baby. This one's going to be a little hard to display because of her ponytails, so bear with me. I also have Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy with a little bonbon puppet, and of course, Ballora. Up next are some pop figures based off Five Nights at Freddy's The Twisted ones, such as Twisted Freddy. I really like these pops because they're super detailed. Twisted Bonnie, who for some reason is blue even though I'm pretty sure he's purple. Twisted Chica, who did not even appear in the Twisted ones, but she's here as a Funko Pop. Twisted Foxy, Twisted Wolf, and Twisted Theodore, or just Theodore, I'm not sure. Up next are the Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator Pops. These include Rockstar Freddy, Rockstar Foxy, who I do have the parrot, but the parrot broke off. I know where it is, but I can't really reach it. It fell behind my bed. So he doesn't have a parrot, but I do have it somewhere. Lefty and Helpy. Along with those, I have some of the mediocre Melodies characters, like Orville the Elephant, Pig Patch, Happy Frog, which this one's actually the first release because she's missing the yellow that goes around her eyes, which was fixed on the later versions of these pops, and Mr. Hippo. Next, I have some Security Breach Ruin Funko Pops, such as Shattered Chica, I think, or Ruined Chica, not sure which one this one's called, Shattered Roxy. I love these Security Breach ones because they're so detailed. And Eclipse. I think this is what his name is, Eclipse. Finally, I have some miscellaneous pops, like Balloon Freddy, Balloon Bonnie, Balloon Chica, and Balloon Foxy. Along with the balloon variants, I also have Circus Freddy, which is Freddy dressed as a clown, and Circus Foxy. I forgot about this guy, but I also have the Cupcake. And the last of the regular FNAF pop figures is, of course, the man behind the slaughter himself, Springtrap. So those are all my regular retail Five Nights at Freddy's pop figures. I am now going to show you guys all of my exclusive Five Nights at Freddy's pop figures. We have now reached the last part of my Funko Pop collection. If you've made it this far, give this video a big thumbs up. But without further ado, here are all of my Five Nights at Freddy's exclusive Funko Pops. The first one being the Barnes & Noble exclusive Flocked Freddy. He's very fuzzy. In terms of other Freddys, I have the Walmart exclusive Toy Freddy, and another Toy Freddy being the FYE exclusive glow-in-the-dark Toy Freddy. He does actually still glow in the dark, but it doesn't show up on camera, unfortunately. Next, I have one of the very first FNAF Funko Pops I ever got, which is the Hot Topic exclusive Shadow Freddy. Next, I have the GameStop exclusive Funtime Foxy / Fixed Mangle, whatever you want to call it, the Walmart exclusive Puppet in Gift Box, or Marionette, whatever you want to call it, as well as the Walmart exclusive Balloon Boy, who unfortunately his balloon arm is a little warped. Up next is the Flocked Springtrap Pop figure from GameStop, the Target exclusive Shadow Bonnie, another Target exclusive Phantom Foxy, and yet another Target exclusive Nightmare Cupcake. I also have the GameStop exclusive Jacko Chica, as well as the Barnes & Noble exclusive Jacko Bonnie. I also can't forget the GameStop exclusive Bon Bon. And the last two retail exclusives I have are from the Twisted ones, including the GameStop exclusive Twisted Ella, and the Hot Topic exclusive Stanley the Unicorn, or Twisted Stanley. Next are my convention exclusives, such as Jump Scare Funtime Foxy, which I believe was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but I got this at Hot Topic. I also have the Jump Scare Circus Baby, which is another Comic-Con exclusive. I think it was San Diego. But I got this for Christmas, and I believe it was from Walmart. And the very last Funko Pop that I have to show in my entire Funko Pop collection is the New York Comic-Con exclusive Lolbit in TV, one of my favorite Funko Pops that I own in my collection. Focus, there it is. It's so cool. It's so big and bulky, and I love this thing. So there you go. We have now completed my entire Funko Pop collection. Ah, you thought I was done. Nope. Here's the bonus entry. Funko Pop collecting runs in the family. I thought I would show off my dad's collection. His isn't as big as mine, but as you can see, he does have quite a few. And we're going to start over here with all of his Star Wars Funko Pops. Now, I do not watch Star Wars. I do not know anything about these guys except for like some of the ones on top. So I'm not going to know all of their names, but I did look up a couple of them, but I'm probably going to forget. Starting at the top, up here we have Yoda, Grogu, or Baby Yoda, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Darth Maul, Kylo Ren, a very shiny looking Darth Vader, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, I believe that's Captain Phasma, Captain something, I don't know. That's Finn, there's Poe, there's one of those Gorg things, Porgs, I think. We have Rey, BB-8, C-3PO, R2-D2, I believe that's Kylo Ren without the helmet. There's the It's a Trap guy. I do not know who this guy is. That's Jabba the Hutt. I don't know who this woman is. That's a stormtrooper. And I do not know what this guy is. He's some kind of droid. Now we're going to go over to his display case. And you might actually see me in the background a little bit. See? Hello. So starting all the way up here, we have Elvira, this guy whose name I don't know. We have Rocket Raccoon and Groot. There's Deadpool. There's Thanos. There's, you can't really see it that well. You have American Psycho, I believe. That's John Wick. And he has a little dog with him. Silence of the Lambs. Hellboy. He has two different Pennywise pop figures, the original and the new one. Up top he has Clockwork Orange, There's a xenomorph from Alien. And then he also has the Predator, which is like a translucent pop figure. And then going down here, we have quite a few Jokers. He has this Joker right here, which is like the cartoon one, I think. We have this one over here, which you can't really see it, but I think that's a 80s version. And then up here he has I think that's the Dark Knight version, right up there. He also has Harley Quinn. There's a Batman. He has Nosferatu, you know, the guy from SpongeBob. He has Captain America, you can see right there. Focus. Yeah, he has Captain America. And then over here he has Wonder Woman. And then he also has a bunch of the Universal monsters. So he has Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the Mummy. And then down here he has a couple more horror characters. That right there is Carrie, I believe. Pinhead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, The Exorcist, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and then he has 3 pop figures from The Shining, which you can't really see them too well, but there they are. And then right down here he has Kurt Cobain, and that is, I believe, John Lennon. And so that's my dad's collection of Funko Pops, but he also has another one over here, which is himself. That's right, those pop yourself things. He got a pop figure of himself from my sister for Christmas. I kind of hope I get one of myself at some point. It looks really funny. So yeah, now we're done with the collection. And there you have it, my entire Funko Pop collection, and my dad's. What did you think of this? If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And comment down below which one of these pop figures is your favorite, or if you have any of these other Funko Pops. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye!